Before you watch this episode of our City Current radio show, I want to invite you to join City Current's e-learning and online personal development platform called Growth Current. I'm Jeremy Park, host of the City Current radio show and CEO of City Current. Growth Current is your exclusive ticket to attend virtual events with global thought leaders, national guest speakers, and experts who can help you grow personally and professionally. It gives you access to success secrets, lessons learned, learning modules, and so much more. Being online, you can join us from anywhere in the world. Subscriptions are only $8 a month, or you can do bulk subscriptions for your team. Check out growthcurrent.com to learn more and to join us in our efforts to power the good. And now, on to the show. Welcome to the City Current Radio Show. I'm your host, Jeremy Park. We're always honored to bring you inspiring stories of individuals and organizations making a difference, powering the good in our community. And we get to kick it off talking about scholarships with MOST, which stands for Memphis Opportunity Scholarship Trust. We're joined by their executive director, Abbey Cowens. And Abbey, how are you doing?
I'm great. How are you? Happy holidays.
Yes, happy holidays indeed. And there's no greater time than now to talk about scholarships, and especially when February is right around the corner. And so
absolutely,
let's start with some history. So give us a little bit of a history lesson for Memphis Opportunity Scholarship Trust.
Sure. So the organization was founded by Bob Thompson in 1998, and he just wanted to help out during that time period. And it wound up blossoming into this great organization that gives, almost $1 million a year in scholarships to students all over Memphis. It started out actually with the Jubilee schools that have since closed. But now we have, 55 partner schools and kids literally all over Memphis. It's wonderful.
So walk us through kind of where the magic starts. I mentioned February, but walk us through kind of the application side, and then, kind of walk us through the logistics in terms of how you qualify. So let's kind of unpack this a little bit, but walk us through the timing. Let's start there.
Sure. So first of all, we take kids, we give scholarships to children PK 3 through grade 12. However, to get on the program, to receive scholarships, you have to be in PK 3 for kindergarten or first grade. So then we take you all the way through your schooling. Financially, if they qualify, they have to continue to qualify every year. And that's based on the lunch program, the school lunch program. So we follow those guidelines for qualification. In February, parents can apply, new parents can apply, and then there's the re-app for ongoing students. And that's not a lottery system. New parents have to enter the lottery system, or if you're already on the system, it's just a re-app. But yeah, so February, our database opens, anybody can apply and enter the lottery and go from there.
What side, you mentioned it follows the free and reduced program in terms of lunches. Mm-hmm. What other qualifications? I know that they must be a resident of Shelby County. Mm-hmm. What are some of the other stipulations?
Not many, just the year of schooling, the lunch program. So our average, I can tell you, our average family income right now is $41,000. And then our average scholarship is $2,300. So what MOST does is we bridge the gap between what the school can provide in financial aid and then what the families can afford. And some schools don't provide financial aid, some provide quite a bit. So we just bridge that gap between those two entities.
Yeah, talk about why that's so important, because when you talk about bridging the gap, it allows for school choice. It allows for parents to take control of the education. It allows for students to have a greater chance of success. So talk about it from that lens from MOST in terms of why the work you do is so important.
Sure. So I can actually give kind of a personal story on that. We had both of our children in our neighborhood public school. And in fourth grade, we wound up transferring our oldest out into a small private school because academically, that's what he needed. Socially, that's what he needed. It just fit what he needed in his life. Now, my younger one still goes to the public neighborhood school. It's great for him. He thrives there. So it's all about options. It gives parents the option to really take control of their child's education. If it's academically what they need, if it's socially what they need, if it's religiously what they are looking for their child. And that's the thing. We just want to be able to provide options for everyone. And these children may or may not be able to go to those schools or have those options otherwise.
Share a little bit of what success looks like, because on your end, when you look at success, it's, opportunities in terms of the scholarship dollars, it's the number of families and schools, and such partnered with, but it's also too the individual students that you're touching. So talk about how you look at success.
Sure. Great success is last year. We had 27 graduating seniors on the MOST program, all of whom applied and were accepted to 4-year post-secondary schools, from Rhodes to U of M to St. Louis University, Chicago Loyola. Great schools, University of Wisconsin. That's success. When they have had the grades and had the drive, and they go on to these great schools and are changing their lives, and hopefully coming back to Memphis. A lot of our students have come back to Memphis. They're teaching. They are nurse practitioners, nurses, doctors. That's success.
Yeah, because in a cool way, you get to build a relationship, especially if they're starting in pre-K and they go all the way through the 12th grade. That's a great opportunity to build that relationship and to see them obviously not only mature and grow, but obviously then, like you said, to follow them through college and to see that journey kind of come full circle. Share a little bit of just kind of that personal narrative of just being able to really be a part of their lives.
Right. So I've only been here for about 5 months. So I have not had the opportunity yet to really dive into these children's lives and follow their successes and everything. I cannot wait to do that. I can't wait to build these relationships. The last director, Mandy, she had such great relationships with the students, and Sally and Courtney also do. And their parents love to update us. And really, it's just such a unique and amazing organization that can touch. We have 386 students this year. 50 students put their scholarships on hold just because of COVID. And, if their school didn't offer virtual options and they were uncomfortable or for whatever reason. So they'll pick those back up in the fall, but it's just great.
Walk how the financial model works in terms of, because I know on your end, and we'll talk about it in terms of ways to raise dollars and support your efforts, but financial contributions are really important to be able to scholarship those out. So talk about the financial model for how it works.
Sure. Happily talk about the 80% of everything that comes in goes to scholarships, which is amazing and wonderful. We keep our costs very low to be able to do that. We actually got to increase the scholarships that we give out last year. So you can get up to $2,500 PK through 8th, and then $2,700 9th through 12th. And that's just because of tuition always going up, and we're trying to keep up with that. But donors are crucial to what we're doing. To give out almost $1 million a year in scholarships, donors are instrumental in what we do. And we have amazing donors, very long time supporters.
Yeah, and talk about, that from an individual donor, obviously corporate donations, there's many different ways. And then we'll talk about kind of some specific ways, but talk about kind of where those dollars come from with the different entities, even foundation support maybe.
Absolutely. We have foundation support. The Children's Scholarship Network in New York is one of our biggest supporters. We just actually brought Duncan Williams on board. They're going to be sponsoring the senior reception that we hold every spring to honor those who have gone through the 12th grade. We have, some are private, don't want their names mentioned, all of that. But we've given over $22 million in scholarships. So, that those are some some big donors.
Yeah, it's a lot of people stepping up, and obviously foundations and corporations and everything in between. So
Absolutely.
dive in, because you mentioned there's kind of an annual get together, toward the end of the school year as a celebration. And then obviously there's some opportunities right now. So let's start with the annual celebration to honor the graduates and such. Talk about that.
I haven't been through one. So I'm excited I pray that we can have one. We were unable to have one last year. We still tried to honor them in great ways, but couldn't gather. So I'm praying that we can gather this year. And it's a great chance for our donors to come out. They come out and meet the graduates. We introduced this current school year, but last year we introduced our Founders Scholars. That's a new way to give a little bit more of an academic scholarship boost. It's merit-based. We picked 5 students. They wrote essays, they took tests, they, really applied hard for this merit-based scholarship. So we were excited to do that. And they'll be a part of our senior reception ongoing. So they'll get to meet, donors meet them, our corporations meet the scholars. It's really just a great way to showcase who they are and what they've accomplished and where they're going.
Absolutely. Yeah. And that's typically every May. So that's an opportunity, obviously, to tie in every May. And then going on right now through the end of the year, December 31st, anyone with a valid driver's license can earn $25 for most by test driving a Roadshow BMW or Mini. Talk about that opportunity to give back and obviously do some test driving and have some fun.
Absolutely. I got to do that. So Roadshow BMW generously chooses a charity of the month and does this test drive for dollars. You can earn up to $6,000. So if you hit 100 test drivers, then they double the money. So it's just a great way for them to give back. It's a great way for people to understand what MOST is. It's kind of been a little bit off the radar. We're doing so much and we have such great donors, but it's not well known. So it's a great way to get the word out. And we're very thankful to Roadshow for helping us with this.
You mentioned that some of the students had put their scholarships on hold with the pandemic and everything going on. Talk about what the pandemic has done for you as an organization with MOST in terms of some of the pivots or the different things that you've had to go through as an organization.
Honestly, the biggest was the 50 on hold. We don't usually have almost any scholarships on hold, and it's limited. So you can have your scholarship on hold for 1 year for any, reason. So that was a big pivot. We usually have over 400 students receiving scholarships, and we definitely didn't want to fill those scholarships because these kids are going to come back. They still want their scholarship. So that was our biggest pivot. The schools, our partner schools have been amazing, and they are the ones who have had to pivot. And we've helped in any way possible, but we're this little 3-person entity in our small space. And the schools have just been amazing.
What's something that you've learned? And obviously, as you mentioned, you haven't been there super long, but obviously you know the program very well, having personal experience and obviously stepping in during the pandemic. What's something that you've learned during this time that you think this is something that ultimately is going to make us stronger or come together? Maybe it's the partnership with the schools, but what's something that you've learned through this process that you think is going to make you stronger?
I think what MOST is doing is great because education is the key to success, period. End of story. You can do so many things, but education really is that foundation. And if we can help educate some people who otherwise would not have these opportunities, maybe maybe their public school is failing, or maybe it's just not the right fit for them, or maybe they have a learning disability, or maybe all these maybes. If we can just help educate them, give them a better opportunity, it only makes Memphis better. And that's we want to grow Memphis to be this amazing city and for people to give back. And I think that's generally what we can learn from this and hope for.
What makes you excited for 2021?
Well, it'll be my first full year through this. I'm excited to go through the application process, I'm excited to see who wins in the lottery, and they're always so thankful. Everybody has told me they're so thankful and they're so eager, and the kids are just adorable. And so I'm excited for that. I'm excited for our golf tournament in the fall. We have a golf tournament out at Memphis Country Club, and it raises almost $130,000 every year. It goes to scholarships. So yeah, it's just the whole process. I'm really hopeful and excited for the senior reception. They've worked so hard. We have 14 graduating seniors, and I'm excited for that. Excited to see their happy faces.
What would your words of encouragement be for others, not only for other families to participate, but for others in the community to come alongside and support your efforts, knowing that the difference it can make?
My advice would be to reach out. Find if you need something for your child to boost them in any way, shape, or form, reach out to somebody. That would be the best advice I could give anybody, and really advocate for your child and understand what they need and make it happen, because it can happen. Anything can happen if you are advocating for your child.
Yeah, and I think carry that forward as a mother, because to your point, when you see the differences between your two, and how you said one, the public school system was perfect, but yet the other one, you noticed that it wasn't, and you needed a change. Talk about kind of being intuitive and being involved in your child's education so that you do understand, and that schools are very different. And so to your point, being involved in your child's education and not being afraid to reach out for help or guidance or support really is important. So share from a mother's perspective, kind of that side of this.
Yeah, so I'm generally a pretty hands-off mom when it comes to actually sitting down and studying and all that, but I keep my eye on what they're doing, how they're acting in class, feedback from the teachers. Even if the teacher says he's doing fine or she's doing fine, we don't need a teacher conference this year. Have that teacher conference. Even if it's for them to just say your kid is doing great, whatever. Have those conferences and own it. If your kid's doing great, they're doing great. But I'm sure you have some question, or you can learn something from the teacher about your kid. Maybe he's doing great. My 8-year-old, he's doing great, but he talks a lot. So, that's something that I've learned through the years is he comes home with good grades, but I don't know that he's always paying attention, or, just be involved. Talk to your kids. Are they happy socially? Are they making friends? Are they the right friends? Are they people that you want your child to be hanging around with? Just all the little things that add up to a really good school environment. And that's really what it is the whole environment the best place for your child?
Yeah, that's
and
great.
Sometimes it is, and that's wonderful.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's not, and you need options.
Yeah, very, very good advice. Last couple of questions. One, what's something that you wish everyone knew about most?
I wish everybody knew how passionate Mr. Thompson has been throughout this 22 years. He's given so much time, money, energy for this organization that not many people know about. And it's a true testament to how amazing of an organization it is that it has lasted this long with so few people knowing it. I hope everybody knows that we're just in it for the kids, and it's something that touched my heart, and I hope that everybody can understand that we're trying to make a difference in these kids' lives and then in the future of Memphis.
And last question is the easy one. When you talk about raising awareness, we have to talk about website, social media, phone numbers, things like that, contact information. So where do we go to learn more about MOST and to get involved?
Absolutely. Memphis-scholarships.org, Memphis-scholarships.org. Facebook is MOST, Instagram is MOST. Follow us. See these kids, they're super fun. And then we get to spotlight, alumni and what they're doing. And it's really fun to watch the kids grow, because again, we have them from PK or first grade all the way through, and to see the changes in them, and the shy ones, and then they blossom, and it's just really great.
Well, Abby, greatly appreciate all you and your team are doing. Thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you so much for having us.